Welcome back to the Under Track, and the first game of the Super 12s is completed. Australia scraping through. It was a low-scoring game, slow wicket, but Stoinis and Wade kept their calm and made sure that Australia win the game and pick up the first 2 points in the T20 World Cup in the Super 12s. It was very way more low scoring than expected. I thought Australia would chase this easy, but it wasn't an easy pitch. And also South Africa's bowling was really good. To be very honest with you, I felt the likes of Nokia, Maharaj, Shamsi, even Rabada, for that matter of fact, Rabada and Pretorius, they all contributed. They're picking up wickets. They put pressure on Australia. There's a partnership building between Smith and Maxwell, but South Africa didn't give up. They got both of those wickets. That catch of Markram, the catch of Steve Smith, that was outstanding. That kind of turned the game in South Africa's favor. They had momentum, but in the end, maybe 15, 20 runs short. It was probably a 130 pitch, scored 118. South Africa will be disappointed with the way they batted. That Quinton de Kock dismissal was just outrageous. It hit his leg bad and then went onto the stumps. Markram got a good delivery, but even Bavuma it didn't turn or anything, just it skidded on. So a couple of it was good bowling. It was a tough pitch, but also some shots were questionable from South Africa. But credit to Australia, I think they bowled really well. Maxwell, Hazelwood was the pick of the bowlers. Maxwell bowled well, Zampa bowled well, Stark was decent. Pat Cummins was very economical as well. I think he was bowling 4.2, 4.3 economy rate, and yeah, it was a clinical performance from them. And I think on these pitches, it wasn't easy to chase, but once you have a target in mind, it's a bit easier to guide, and that was the case in this match. You don't know how much score is good enough. South Africa were probably aiming too high, 140, 150. Were a bit too aggressive. They played too many shots. Whereas Australia, if you saw their run rate was like under six, it was five and a half for most of the innings, but they knew what they had to get. If they were batting first, I think they would have also planned it differently. They might have, got out like South Africa did as well. So chasing definitely helped in this, even though it wasn't an easy pitch. If South Africa got a plus 20, 30 runs, then it would have been a very, very difficult chase. And it was a brilliant game. For me, the play from Australia point of view, Steve Smith, his form outstanding, 35 of 34 balls. I know it's just a strike of 102, but we've mentioned this before. On these kind of pitches, rotating the strike is very, very important. Getting the single doubles, because what was the required rate? It was under six, so making sure there was a steady head there. Unlucky to get out. It was a fantastic, outstanding catch. You couldn't do much with that, but it was the innings. This type of innings is needed in T20s. He's shown today, Steve Smith, that his position in the team is important. He plays a different type of role, but it can be very crucial on these tough, slow pitches. From South Africa's side, I would say the positives that they'll take is their bowling. Shamsi was brilliant. So was Maharaj. Nokia was outstanding as well. Rabada, a bit expensive, but he was unlucky with that. Markham went for that catch for off Wade. It just didn't go get into his hands. It was just short. Overall, they would just be disappointed with their batting. I think the bowling did a really good job, and they've proven themselves that they have an excellent bowling attack and they can defend low scores. They just need to get to a decent total, 130, 140, and they can put pressure on the opposition. High quality bowling from both sides. Hazelwood hitting that line in length as well, and Cummins, it just looked like they transformed from Test to T20s and still hitting that line in length. Top quality bowling. Batting was a bit suspect from both teams. Maxwell and Smith were decent, but again, Australia's problem has been the top order. Warner and Fitch again not performing. Mitchell Marsh getting out early, so again relying on the middle order to build them out. I think they have a solid batting lineup. Australia, that's where they have an advantage compared to South Africa. South Africa is a bit top heavy, so they have an advantage there, but they would need the top order to perform. Others, they will find it difficult against other teams such as England, even against the West Indies. They will find it tricky if their openers don't perform. That's something that they will have to look at. Yeah, I think that wraps up the game for me. The player of the match, you could give it to anyone really, but I give it to Steve Smith just because it was a low scoring game, and he batted really well. He ensured his team, got out of jail when he was there. He was under pressure. You could give it to Stoinis as well, or any of the bowlers. Hazelwood set it up as well. So you could give it to anybody. I'm just saying Steve Smith just because I think at a time where Australia could have easily panicked and they could have been 50 for 6, he made sure that he was there and almost took his team through. And when Stoinis and Wade were there, the required rate was still gettable, and he set it up there. So yeah, credit to Stoinis and Wade also for finishing it off. And now just coming to the next game, England have won the toss. They're bowling first. Surprise, no Mark Wood in their team against the West Indies. There's no Mark Wood. They're going with Taimal Mills. They're going with Moin Ali is there. Adil Rashid is there. And if I just go through the lineups for England and West Indies, both Jason Roy, Joss Butler, David Malan, Johnny Bairstow, Liam Livingston, Owen Morgan, Moin Ali, Chris Wokes, Chris Jordan, Adil Rashid, and Taimal Mills. So they've gone Jordan over Willie and Taimal Mills over Mark Wood. Taimal Mills bringing that left arm, which Willie would have brought, and that pace of Wood. And Chris Jordan, I think they're just backing his experience in the depth. I would have probably gone Mark Wood and Willie, but this is something that England are trying out. Let's see how it goes. That England batting looks stacked. It looks lethal with Roy, Butler, Malan, Bairstow, Livingston, Morgan, and then Moin Ali as well. So they have batting to Chris Wokes and Chris Jordan. They have stacked batting lineup. So it depends on what kind of start they get. But middle order can be fragile. Livingston and Morgan are not in the best of forms, but I think that top four looks very, very solid. If you look at West Indies lineup, Evan Lewis, Lendl Simmons, Chris Gale, Nicholas Pooran, Sherman Hetmeyer, Kieran Pollard, Andre Russell is back. He's fit. Dwayne Bravo, Akhil Hussain, Ravi Rampal, and Obed McCoy. No Hayden Wash Jr. in this team. They're very surprising. I thought he would play the leg spinner's role. Very surprised that he's not there. They've gone with Akhil Hussain. Kind of surprising the way West Indies have set up. But let's see how it goes. This West Indies team deals in boundaries. Right now, I think England are favorites going into this game. But West Indies are a team, they can beat anyone on their day. They play one way. Will they adjust to the pitch? Can the likes of Pooran, Pollard, Russell, hit those boundaries? They're batting first, so they won't know exactly how the pitch is. They'll have to set a target. They'll have to bat smart and put England under pressure. If they go too aggressive, they might get out too early. So there needs to be a fine balance. I know they won't balance, but they just have to hope it comes down to the bat nicely. It's good to see Simmons and Lewis opening. They've won World Cups for West Indies together, so it's good to see them in a partnership. For me, the key player will be Nicholas Pooran going into this game for West Indies. For England, I'm going to go with Joss Butler. I think he's in good form, good nick, and he's someone who can start at the top and really set the platform for the middle order. With the ball, I'm going to go West Indies, Dwayne Bravo, and then with England, Adil Rashid. I think Adil Rashid is the difference in this game. West Indies don't have a renowned spinner in this team, whereas England have a proper leg spinner and Adil Rashid, Moin Ali to bowl off spin. I guess they're going to rely on Bravo, Pollard, and Russell to bowl those cutters and everything as well. So yeah, let's see how it goes. It's going to be an interesting game. Congratulations to Australia for winning that match, and now best of luck to both England and West Indies. We'll catch you after the game for the post-match analysis. Thank you so much for joining me, and take care.